took on Qs. So I'm going to go over the trade plan. I'm going to go over entries, exits, P&L, all that good stuff. Let's rock and roll. Give me 1 sec just to fire up these charts. I hope you all had a wonderful day. Let's do this. So now that we are into the charts here, guys, 1 sec, let me fix myself. We're going to go over the trade plans. Now, the trade plans, because of this really substantial gap up, it was about 3.5% from the previous close, about 16.5, 17-point gap up, which is huge. We were looking for a short because we're going to open up right into technical resistance on SPY up here at that 583.13 level, which was right at pre-market highs. So it's already kind of proven that it doesn't want anything to do with that area. It tried a couple of times and wanted to sell off. So there was a couple of ways that we could get involved with this short. One is a pop into this technical level, and another is what I call trend formation. Essentially, what that is, without going into major detail, because that's not what this video is about here this evening, it's a way to get in. It's a strategy that I have to get involved short without it popping into that level. Remember, I don't short breakdowns. I trade professionally and like the smart money. I am looking to take trade short into resistance and into support. So I wait for it to come into these levels. I'm not looking to, nor am I interested in chasing or trading like a gambler. So it didn't give us both of those short entries that we were looking for. It started to, and then it just didn't commit. It had a real quick flash pop into the area that I did want to short on trend formation, but that was an algo pop. There was no way to get involved with that. So then we had no choice but to be very patient, waiting for the long coming down into this support level at 502.01. Now, because of the relationship, and I've talked about this lots on this channel, between distance and retracement and distance and execution, since we did not have any type of a retracement up on Qs at all, it just sold straight off coming down into this level. I will never wait perfectly for that level. If you do that, you're going to wait forever and you will miss your execution. So what you need to do instead is be comfortable with averaging in at an area that it makes sense for your risk profile. Your risk is really important. How much are you willing to risk? Where are you willing to start in comfortably, safely, and effectively? So with that said, as soon as it came right into that start point. And as soon as it washed, I executed, entered, paid myself on that first push up, going long, coming into 502. And then once it came down to confirm, SPY was confirming as well. That's where I added, and I kind of got a shitty fill here. And I know, that's something I want to talk about, because there is a distinction between a shitty fill and a chase entry. I've seen a lot of traders over the years talk about and discuss, or they'll just simply state, oh, I got a shitty fill. No, you fucking chased is what happened. And you can tell by the entry. And you can tell by generally your trading habits. Now, for me, it was simply a bad fill. And that's just something that I do want to note, because I take pride in my entries. And with it coming up and you guys noticing this, I don't want you to think that it's acceptable to chase up with your entries. But that's not what happened. It was a candle that it dipped. I was waiting for that red candle to come down to get that entry, that next add. But as soon as it did, it ended up popping up really, really quickly. So that's just where I got filled. It was just kind of one of those things. But overall, I'm very happy with this trade. Entered down here and really well over a point worth of premium on this. Now, another thing I want to talk about before I go over this trade a little bit more is I get questions from time to time about, do you trade stock? I don't know anything about options. Guys, listen when I tell you, because I've said this 1,000 times. We execute via the options. We just execute with them. I'm not an options trader. We don't follow the Greeks. We don't pay attention to any of that shit. You do not need it as a day trader looking for short-term opportunities. So when I tell you that, that's what I mean. Okay. So if you don't know anything about options, you will be okay with me coaching and teaching you and learning what I'm doing here. You don't need to know anything about options. We only execute via the options. I don't consider myself an options trader. I am a stock trader. So if you can trade stock, you can trade this, my strategy, along with me with absolutely no problems. I promise you, you won't have any problems, guys. In fact, you're going to be, oh shit, where has this been my entire life? I remember when I developed this strategy, I was told it won't work, it can't work, blah, 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 blah. Everybody said that there's no way it's going to work. Everyone. And guess what? It fucking works. And now this is how a lot of people trade options. The only problem is what they do is they bastardize it and they try and trade it. They're not understanding to get rid of all of the options nonsense and only execute via options. If they did that, they would have a lot more success. But that's fine. That's why I'm here and they are there. And that is okay. But I just wanted to let you know, if you don't know how to trade options, don't worry about it. You don't need to know. Okay. That's not what we're doing here. We're doing something that's very different. Okay. So, on that note, going into this, locking in $6,055 working this trade on the initial entry and then the ad. This was a fantastic trade. Now, you'll even see later on at 10:30, it came screaming on down into that level, absolutely banged off that level beautifully and got sucked all the way up the rest of the day and absolutely went ballistic the rest of the day. So, if a guy was a little more patient, mind you, with my strategy, I'm not looking to trade past that first or execute after that first half an hour of the day. I want to go enjoy my day. That's why I worked hard at this, is so that I don't have to be a slave to the monitors. So, on that note, if you want to learn how to come do this and trade professionally and work with a coach that can actually teach you how to do this with no bullshit, no strings attached. If you don't like it, you can leave. It's all good. Come to tricktrades.com. And if not, that's not your bag. You want to continue to do this on your own. It's going to take you longer, but you seem to have all the time in the world. Then continue watching my free stuff. No problems whatsoever. But you do have to like and you do have to subscribe. On that note, folks, I'm going to rock and roll. We got a storm rolling in here, and I'm trying to get wrapped up here for the evening so I can go back up to the house and get the fuck out of the office. So have a good one, guys. Adios.